they're doing this incredible.
Well, there's a myriad of things. I think first of all, we have to go back to writer. You are very well known for your teaching skills. Your students speak a whole lot about you.
Miss Nigeria competition.
I said, let's pick them up, let's take them back to Nigeria, and let's teach them a different kind of job.
Hello, the program is The Woman, and my name is Elizabeth Abai. As always, I am excited when I sit here because I know I'm going to have another lovely 25 minutes with another exciting personality. My guest today is a pest setter, a woman who's done a whole lot to help not just her immediate community, but the entire Nigeria, and to a large extent outside of Nigeria. Don't ask me who my guest is, just sit back as I bring you my personality of the day after this time out. If you just joined us, you're right on time as I'm about to introduce my guest of the day, a woman who I simply call the first of firsts. She is a lecturer foremost, and of course, the first female dean of the Faculty of Social Sciences, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, the first female professor, Mass Communication Department in the whole of Nigerian universities. She was at a point, a very long time too, if you ask me, the chief of staff of the same state. She has been commissioner for same state, that's Anambra State, at different capacity. Please join me as I welcome Professor Chinyere Okunna. Nice to have you. All right. I was watching you not too long ago when you were giving your, a lecture as a resource person at the MBC lecture day, and I could see the zeal, I could see the passion. I felt so connected. For the length of time you spoke, I was wrapped to my television set, watching and learning. I must say thank you for that opportunity. You talked about COVID and media and broadcasting. Before I even go into your personality proper, could you refresh us again? What has COVID got to do with media at the moment?
COVID, one of my generation who are not that young, who have never seen anything like this in my entire life. So for Nigeria in particular, even the world, it has completely shattered expectations and ruined dreams. I can't imagine. The entire year is almost gone. And nothing, virtually, has been accomplished, so to say. All because of this virus. So the COVID has, it has destabilized the world, but in many ways also, it has also energized creativity, innovation. See the kind of thing you're doing now. One of them has also unleashed innovation and people being creative in the way to make sure life continues. Yeah, that's an advantage.
I was just going to say, without COVID, I would have been able to get this opportunity to speak with you about this time. I have actually been planning to see when I can come to Anambra State. But I'm in Anambra State today, even without leaving Abuja. And you're in Abuja, even without leaving Anambra State. That's a good one. Mass communication, indeed, most of the social sciences, they are not a place where a lot of people would ordinarily want to push to that level, especially a woman, because I know you were doing this while you were making your home and making 6 children. It wasn't easy. Tell me, what was the propelling factor? What kept you pushing?
From when I was relatively young, I always thought I should be where I could create knowledge. And for me, one place to create knowledge is at the higher institution. So I always knew somehow I would teach at this level, so to say. And in communication, growing up in communication, it was a man's field, so to say.
Thank you.
Journalism, I'm sure you know. The older generation of journalists were all men, so to say. It was a male-dominated field. And even in journalism education, I remember when I began teaching communication. If you went anywhere, University of Lagos, one woman, IMT Enugu, one woman, Bayero University, no woman, all over the country, women were not teaching mass communication. You know, one of the first papers I wrote years ago was titled Female Faculty in Journalism Education in Nigeria. Implications for the status of women in Nigeria. Because my argument was, teachers are role models. And when a lecturer is teaching, your students are watching you and emulating you. And if only men were teaching journalism, journalists will end up graduating with a male-oriented perspective on issues because no women's perspectives were being given. So my first paper was, one of those early papers was to encourage women to come into journalism education so that there will be role models for journalists in training so that when they left the university, they will be able to present both a male perspective and a female perspective. And today, it gladdens my heart that in my lifetime, before I retire, honestly, you know, when women put their minds to anything, they overcome. Most journalism schools now have been taken over by female lecturers.
Kudos to us. But let's get back to you from the very beginning. A lot of people ask me that question and I answer, and now I see my superior and I need to throw back the question. What pushed you into journalism? What led you into journalism, mass communications precisely?
The media are powerful. I said so in Abuja last week. They are awesome in their power. Journalists or journalism is only profession where people who are there have the capacity to gather huge quantities of information, to package the information professionally and disseminate it very effectively. No other profession can do that. So, having chosen to be in communication, I felt that if I was able to help to push the young people out there, empowered with the right knowledge and the right attitude towards women and everything, that would be a place to be.
A good one.
That's
You know,
my
you're speaking, as you've been talking, I've been, smiling because you're gradually luring me to the world of teaching journalism and broadcasting. And let's see if you finally get to succeed. But for now, just sit here and continue to ask the questions I'm asking. You're a lecturer. How prepared do you think the schools are for the children, especially in view of the COVID-19 we earlier on talked about?
You know, I happen to be a member of UNIZIC, University COVID-19 committee. So my subcommittee will be churning out information, which is everywhere now, about the COVID-19 protocol. Recently, we reopened our secondary school, university secondary school, and the primary school exam classes. And it's working well. We make sure we put in place the right things, face masks, sanitizers, hand washing facilities, everything. The same thing we are doing for the older students who are the undergraduates. And then above all, a COVID-19 testing center is being established in the university. And some Anambra Petros also are building a huge facility for isolation center and treatment center. So there's a testing center coming up. There's a facility, housing, treatment, and isolation center. So I'm confident that if students come back today, they will be in safe hands.
It's a cherry news because some of us who are parents are concerned about our children going back to school. And much as we want them to go to school, get it all done with, and move on with their lives, we also want to see them alive and well. And it's in good light to know that your university is actually setting up testing centers. I want to believe that while you're putting these plans on, in the pipeline or setting them up, you also have a capacity to do a follow-up, monitoring and all that, because students will come in just like typical people I see today in Nigeria, wear the face mask, 2 days, 3 days, then they remove it. The law begins to go down. Let's take you away from the school environments, just like the Anambra state government took you away from the university for a little while. And while you were there, you served first in the capacity of the Commissioner for Information and Culture. I recall that was 2006 to 2009, and you still continued as the Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, right? I'm in order, right?
Budget.
No, okay.
Yeah.
Beyond that, you also served as the Chief of Staff for about 2 years within the same state.
Combination with all the others.
With all the others, you were doing that. I recall that.
I was still commissioner for planning. I was still commissioner for budget. I was still coordinating commissioner for development partnership, along with being the chief of staff. It was a killing job.
My question is, how many heads do you have? How many hands do you have? How can you be two commissioners and the same time chief of staff? How does that work?
You know, what you do depends on how you feel about what you're doing. I worked with a governor whose vision for Anambra State I strongly believed in. He was a man who had the capacity to lead Anambra State to the destination he chose. When he came in, he chose as the vision of the state the achievement of the Millennium Development Goals. And that was perfect because the MDGs were working in multi-sectors. And Peter Obi, who was the governor, chose that NDG vision as the vision. So it wasn't really anything stressful for me because I was doing the things I believed in. It was a tough job, but I think I could.
You just said it. It was a tough job, but you succeeded. I needed to hear that bit because when I was looking at it, I was like, is this person 3 in 1 or 1 in 1 or I don't know, but you just said it. When you love what you're doing and you put in your best, you get to do it and do it well. And you've done Yes, you've done wonderfully well. But I wonder how you manage, how do you know which cap to wear in, at the time? Because I also know you're a resource person for a whole lot of organizations, governmental, non-governmental. You're always there talking, including for UNESCO, a whole lot of them. How do you, know when to, move from this compartment to the other one?
One power women have. They have this capacity for multitasking. Every woman does that. I don't know whether it's inbuilt in us. I won't say that because anybody can learn that. But our culture has prepared us to do various things and not give excuses. It was a tough job. It was also somehow dangerous because I was also the chairman of the Committee on Good Governance for Anambra State. So it was my job to call the governor to order if he wasn't doing well. And luckily for me, I am much older than he is. So it was, I found the courage. Because if I didn't find that courage and things were going wrong and they blamed him, I knew I would be blamed somehow. So we had to find the courage, the committee had to find the courage, say, Your Excellency, you cannot do this, it's not good enough. Or you're doing well, you're performing very well here. So somehow we were coping with different tasks. No, only one salary, not I wasn't paid.
Only one salary, I was going to ask you.
One salary.
5 jobs, I collect one salary. No.
One salary, one job has got. So it was a challenge, but it was a challenge we were able to face because we believed.
I sing this song, money is not everything. Once you're satisfied, I was taught from a little girl to always give, by my mom. And then when I didn't have money, I was kindergarten, primary school. She said, you can give somebody a smile. You can give somebody a how are you. So money is not always everything. And talking about giving, you have done so much, giving to the society, even beyond where you live. I know that you have the Adimora, Okunna Scholastic Foundation. It's been on since 2003 up until now at different categories. I tried to count. I think I got up to, is it 6 or so? I could be wrong. From best mass communication students and all that. A lot of lecturers will go to school and come out, teach, earn their money, and go home. My lecturers, nobody gave me the best of anything. But here you are, not only giving best students, best graduating student, best in this, you've also built a house, legacy building, and donated to the school. I know about it. It's a surprise, right? Share with me.
Yeah.
What is the motivation?
I don't know, honestly. I think somehow, again, it depends on what you believe in. I believe in young people. I do a lot of mentoring. And the older I become, the more I am driven by the desire to make sure the next generation and the ones after them, my children, my grandchildren, that are generations better than mine. And right now, I have a mentoring group called the Professor Okunna Mentees Group. They're in various universities across the nation. Because very recently, I'm sure you know, the federal government approved the unbundling of the mass communication program. But instead of having one BSc degree in mass comm or BA degree in mass comm, there are now going to be 7 departments, and we hear there'll be an 8th one on strategic communication. And given that an influx of young people came into teaching of communication, and I looked at them, there were many of them were coming in teaching for the first time, unprepared, lacking in confidence, but raring to go. And I felt I could form a mentees group across universities and make sure they are drawing inspiration from us. So as we are exiting, the younger generation should be learning from us. And that's one. Mentoring has always been my strong point. So doing the things I do is part of mentoring. And you look around you too. You may not be very wealthy, but there are people you are better than. In my community, I come from Ubo community in Dunukofia. There are a number of very wealthy people there. But there are also some people who cannot pay their children's school fees in secondary school. And when they talk to you, I felt I should have a scholarship foundation. So every year, like you know, there are 2 secondary schools. The best 5 after the SS2 exam. The best 5 in one secondary school and the other 5 in the other secondary school. I pay the school fees for the SS3 and pay all the exam fees. And then you look around, I teach in a federal university where the school fees for a long time, the school fee was 20,000 naira, basically. But there are parents who cannot pay that, believe it or not, in Nigeria. And some of these parents come from my home community. You may be amazed. 20,000, what is it to somebody who is rich? Nothing. But those parents, you don't even know them because they are selected by my home community town union. They apply to them, they know who they are, they know how poor their parents are, and they select the poorest of the poor. And I pay just that small amount of money. Come and see the joy in those parents. So giving is something that can be done not by the very rich. Even the poorest can give a smile, 1 naira. You will not believe how 5,000 naira can uplift somebody.
It's quite touching, like you said, and I truly believe giving gives you immense joy. All the God bless you get as you give out, it's not for nothing because the blessings you may not know where it comes. It may not be in your business. It may be in health. It may be in your child. It may be in your grandchildren, like you already mentioned. And when you mentioned grandchildren, I said, well, it's just that I know that she has grandchildren. You look very relaxed with all the job around you and you're still very young. What do you do for relaxation? Don't tell me you're writing books. I try to count your books.
You're right. And honestly, I don't know. As I even get older, I think my schedule is more hectic now than a few years ago. Because I say it, I think I'm at the pinnacle of both my age and my career now. My profession, my career, my experience, everything. Soon we're going to start descending. So I'm up there, and like I keep saying, I say it all the time. I do the things I love to do. If you offer me something I don't believe in, and I know I don't have the capacity to do, I reject it. So doing those things tend to relax me. So I'm not really stressed up by the things I do. Above all, I try to exercise. I live in a compound of my own.
That's
Not
good.
anything strenuous. Once every morning, or at least 3 or 4 times a day, I walk around my house only, trying to do fast walking, nothing strenuous. I eat anything, but I make sure I eat healthy food. So these may be the answers to what I'm doing. And
With all
I'm
that,
sure
with all this hectic program, I'm sure you still have time for your grandchildren. How does that make you feel? They say whenever it comes to grandchildren, parents are weak.
one of my greatest joys is I live in an estate in Oka, where 2 of my daughters are living also. So the grandchildren are virtually surrounding you. And I don't have much time for looking after them, but at least they give me joy watching them. And I know their parents are struggling also to make sure they shine in their own careers. And I encourage them because I remember, maybe I should tell this. When I was a young woman, I had wanted to go to Leicester, University of Leicester, to go abroad to do a PhD. I had a scholarship, full scholarship from an overseas religious group, work. And I had a baby who was less than 1 year old. So I couldn't go. First time I deferred admission, he became about a year old. I looked at him, I couldn't take him along. I deferred admission again. And they warned me not to do that anymore. I was just wondering what to do when University of Lagos restarted their PhD program in mass communication. And off. Before I left, I'm talking about young people now grappling with difficulties. I called my 2 mothers, my mother-in-law and my mother. My dad was long dead by then. I said, I lost education. They know. And they say, yes, we know you. You're very brilliant. And I say, I want to do a PhD to do better in my job. They say, yeah, we'll support you. I say, 2 of you have to come here and take care of this baby and your son-in-law and your son while I go and get that degree there. So they divided the chore. My mother said, Mama, you will come and spend 6 months. Then you'll go home. My mother-in-law will come and spend 6 months. So I harnessed all my resources. It was they who were here looking after my children were quite young. It was they who were here looking after the baby. My husband is a very busy man. He's a medical doctor in private practice. So they came in there. So my point is to avoid stress. Capture all your opportunities and tie them into a bunch. Do the things you love doing. Improve on your capacity to do things and make sure you grab every opportunity and support to enhance. So my mothers were here. My husband was happy. The children were taken care of. My mothers taught my children more than I even did. So if you say I'm looking well and I have coped, it's because I make sure every opportunity, every support I was entitled to, I grabbed it and appropriated it to make sure I was doing well. So
Nothing beats the extended family. I enjoyed the same privilege, and till tomorrow I'll continue to ensure that as long as it depends on me, the extended family system must stay because nothing beats it.
there was a time I was 25 years old, 20 years old, 18 years old. Time doesn't wait for every young woman. So do the things you can do and do them as efficiently as you can because they are time bound. Very soon, your youth is over. Even your middle age is over and you're racing towards your old age, so you don't have any regrets. I look back on my life honestly, without boasting. I'm fulfilled. I don't remember anything I would like to change.
Thank you so much. It's not easy to find someone who beats the chest and said, I look at myself today and I know that I am fulfilled. But here is Professor Chinyere Okunna, who has just told us that she can look back and say she has nothing to change. She is fulfilled with her life. And if I take away a little bit, she said that she got to that level because she does what she knows she can do and makes her happy. That way, stress is removed. Why don't we tag along? By the way, thank you for coming on the show. Thank you very
Hello.
much. All right,
Thank
on that
you.
lovely note, we say bye bye on this show, and we believe that you will join us again next week. While you're waiting for the next exciting moment with us, please practice what you've learned today. Harness your opportunities, never let it go away. And if you haven't picked anything today, please ensure that you recognize the extended family. It is important. I think I want to go with the more we are, the merrier we become. On that note, bye bye. My name remains Elizabeth Abai, and the program is The Woman.
Thank you.